Okay, hi, how you doing all? This is 2022 and we want to do this video together with my wife just to talk about how we met, It's something we want to talk about and probably it's going to be a blessing to you and how you go, if you're a young person there and you just think about how am I going to get my spouse, let's share our story together with you. So, where are we going to start?
I think we need to start from what we were doing before we met.
Ooh. Well, are you gonna talk first? Ladies first. Talk how?
Well, before we met, I was busy in the field, if I could say it that way. The field of ministry, fulfilling my dreams, trying to be my best self.
Right.
I wouldn't say that I was 100% all the time. Of course, I was always like one of those, like any single person, generally speaking, wanting to be married and like, who is that person?
Go ahead.
Am I taking too much time or something?
Oh, you're fine. It's a video.
But anyways, I was taking college courses toward my bachelor's and then also taking some Spanish classes because I was moving to Nicaragua for the second time with a different mission. But I was an interim in between, and all of a sudden I got this call from this guy that I befriended, who was a Nigerian.
Where do you befriend? Is on Facebook?
On Facebook.
Cool. And let me tell you one thing about that Facebook thing is I am so happy because we actually met. Anyway, we started talking 2015. Let's start with that because
the ending of 2015.
Ending of 2015, that's how we got to connect ourselves on Facebook. Facebook has been a form of a blessing to me personally. People get entangled with friends that destroy their destiny anywhere on Facebook and all that, but also it's a place where you can meet good people. When I connect with was it you that sent me a friend request or I did? Can't remember.
You commented on a picture of mine that was a mutual pastor
friend. Somebody talk and comment about Bettina, about what she was doing, about her passion and zeal for mission work and all that. And I just saw this picture on Facebook and I was like, wow, who is this girl? Who is this girl that is so passionate for the things of God, for ministry, for mission? And right away there I was like, I'm going to send her a friend request. Or she's going to send me a friend request or something.
We connected somehow. He commented on the picture of mine that he saw through Pastor Setzer, which is a mutual friend of ours.
All right.
And he wanted to call me up to prove to a buddy of his that he knew a white girl in the U.S.
Well, that is actually
and
so.
I was at Spanish class.
Let me talk about what I was doing.
I was just leaving Spanish class.
Well, then I just finished college studying, and then in Nigeria they have to post you to another city, another state to serve the country. And I was there working and doing things. I've been in the ministry all my life, with the young people, with the youth in the church. And I went to the States alone praying, God, I don't have any girlfriend. I'm just here, focusing on mission and job and all that.
You're a single guy.
Well, I don't know. So the moment I send a friend request, we start talking. Hi, how you doing? My main intention was I was just impressed by the kind of
the caliber of woman I was, right? That's what you want to say.
Well, there's a word I'm trying to. She's packaged with a lot of gifts that I really love. I like it, when someone is in the mission field or working, educated, going to school, adding value to herself. That was the first thing that really made me to like, let me, talk to this girl. Let me check this girl out. And the moment I said hi, she responded. She didn't feel like, who is this guy talking to me? She understood, the issue with different cultures. Like, I'm not talking to this African guy and all that. I'm busy. Some people are just like that, but they don't know. Maybe that will be their blessing, And she just respond very matured and all that, and that's that kind of.
Yeah, it was a very short, like, 2-minute conversation.
Yeah. And
just so he could prove to his friend that he knew.
No, I think that was later.
That was the very first one, and then later you called me again.
No, I first of all was chatting with you. Then
oh yeah, we were chatting.
Yeah, we were
too.
chatting and all that.
We had a lot of mutual.
Then I was with this guy. This guy was he was from the north in Nigeria, and then not really well educated. He doesn't know. He has never been out of the country before. And then I was talking with him. I was actually encouraging him. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna prove to you like I know someone from the US right now. It's kind of funny.
It's kind of cute.
Well, it's kind of cute, but right now I'm like, oh, it's saturation. Like, anyway, so I was talking to that guy. That guy was so
excuse, right?
amazed and all that, and I picked my phone. And I said, "You're gonna hear a voice of a lady from the US right now," and it was like, he said, "Lie, no." I was like, "Okay," and I just pick up the phone, and I've not spoken with Bettina before. We just chat and all that. And she gladly received the call. Hey, hi. And I was like, hey, how you doing? Where are you going? And she was like, yeah, I'm going to Spanish class. Out of Spanish class and, all that. And this guy was just so wow. Like, my God. She felt me like, yeah, this guy must be a very important guy. Like, he knows people all the way. Anyway.
You feel good about you.
Yeah. I don't think we talk that much.
No, it wasn't a long
we just like,
We chatted more and we talked, because I think one of the first questions you asked me in chat was,
how many children?
Are you holiness?
Yeah.
And yeah, you did ask how many kids do you have, and I'm like, okay, this is his way of asking me if I
am married.
Actually,
yes.
Or
it's because I saw
had a baby daddy.
You with the I think it's House of Refuge or your mission, whatever you are.
I had a lot of pictures on my
with the children. Yeah, and I just want to kind of like know if I'm not
all
talking
hers.
to. And she was
Are all
like,
these 30 kids hers?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the moment that I think after my time in the service, I was going back to my state, and I said I want to go and pray. I went to pray with one of somebody I can say like my mentor. I was there, and it was really teaching me Bible study for a whole week, talking about the will of God in where you're living, on your career and all that. So I was so full of those topics, and I just picked up my phone. I said, do you want to have a Bible study?
Yeah, you called me.
I called Bettina and I said, do you want to have a Bible study? And she was like, okay. And we just started talking.
I'm the kind of person I always talk about the word. Like, that's one of my favorite conversations.
I think that's what brought us together more.
Learning about it. Yeah. And we had already been talking about, because you asked me if I was holiness, remember? And I was like, well, what's your definition of holiness?
Because I want the holiness, girl.
And well, there's several definitions. I
know. I think I just ask it in a very sarcasm kind of way, like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, and I just pretty much said like, because he was,
And your answer really makes me to kind of like this girl is deep. She's really mature. Like she's not like I know, you know what I mean. Like some people are just so full of themselves, but she's just very organized, standard. She's so balanced. She just say, what's your definition of holiness? She doesn't just like, just get on my phone. Where is this person, And then not knowing that I'm just a blessing that is wrapped up in dust as you can just see.
No, like one of the things that I can say about him is he really encouraged me, because there was a time when I was doubting going back to Nicaragua, because I felt like I had been a failure in a previous work endeavor, because we didn't accomplish the work we set out to do, and I had felt like I had fallen. I had been a failure, and being a single woman going back to the mission, I was like, am I going to set myself up for failure?
Was that your second time of going to Nicaragua? Oh,
like for a long term, yeah.
15? Oh, okay.
Because I had been there in 2014 with another mission, and we didn't complete what we had set out to do. We did complete some things. We're doing some ministry, but not the main thing. So it made me feel like a failure and question going back. so I was having a dark moment, and
I think I was having a dark moment too then, because I was so disturbed about life. I just finished college and all my
what's next?
Like what next? Like, I should be, dating a girl, I should be married, I know some of my friends are already married, and I was just focused on the ministry and all that. And I think, I was able to encourage and it's just like fresh flow of anointing just coming in, and I was pouring out, and I didn't know that I was just wetting the ground for my
and I feel like
package.
You were somebody that wasn't connected to who I had been before, so he had no way of really knowing who I was, who I had been in complete detail as someone who had watched me walk through all of that. And it was like God was speaking to me, encouraging me in that dark time of doubting myself, going back. There was a lot of fear and anxiety. But he just encouraged me in the Lord and said that I could accomplish that, and that I was called to go, and just reaffirmed. And someone had said once, don't question in darkness what God has spoken in the light. So I was really questioning in that darkness what God had spoken to me in the light, and it was just a dark moment that I was doubting myself, and him encouraging me, quoting the word of God to me. That was something that really won me over. It didn't completely win me over. It took
a while.
Some time, several years.
It was a long journey. We were kind of like more like friends. We will do this probably as an episode, how things were getting into shape and how we finally got to where we are right now. But right now, that is just like how we met. We were talking like we were just like pure friends, like very mutual and very matured when we talk. We talk, we laugh, we talk about the scripture.
I Facebook stalked you. That was one thing. Like, don't just go answer any Joe Schmo's call. Like, I was Facebook stalking for real, figuring out who this guy was, and the stories he told me about himself. I was checking him to see, like, going way back on his Facebook timeline to see, like, if the pictures and the post kind of
I don't think we would even encourage that as much. For me, I think it's just a special grace.
And I talked to your friends too, like not right off the bat, but later on. Like he was open and transparent.
I was always open. I don't know.
You gave me your Facebook login, and so that was something really like. If he wasn't transparent,
I give you the Facebook
and I wasn't transparent.
Login that when we were becoming more intimate.
Yeah, that was more. So that was a couple years later of our communication.
And there was a lot of hurdles. Like we never even believed that we would eventually
We believed it, but it seemed impossible at times.
Yeah, like because we don't know how we're gonna work it out. We don't even know. We had a pretty. I won't call it rough or hard, but I think it has to really make us stronger.
I feel like the 90-day fiance visa, the government for you to get somebody over here, makes it hard. Anyways, like that whole process is hard. Like you have 90 days to marry somebody.
What about the family thing and people not really believing? That would be for
having only 90 days for your family to get to know somebody, and you weren't allowed to come over here before.
And especially somebody from Africa. And then people say some funny, crazy stuff like, "Oh, you just come in." Yeah, I mean, I heard those things. I'm like, look, I remember I won't say this, but I remember when somebody was like just questioning and all that, and I'm just like, look, time is a revealer. Like, I mean, I wasn't even doubting myself who I am or what I can do or what. Like, I wasn't even pressuring it. I was just like, well, if it's the will of God, it's gonna happen, and there's nothing you're gonna do about it. And you all will know, you will realize at the end of the day that it's God behind this. I wasn't really putting so much pressure. It's really trying to convince people like this is I was just very neutral, and also believing God for the best.
So wrapping all this up, number one, he met me when I was at my height of singlehood. I told him I was happily single when he asked me how many kids I had, and that I was fulfilling the plan of God. And I think I had at that point in my life said, I'm very content. I don't want a relationship, don't need one. Not that I didn't want one, I didn't need one.
That I really
wasn't desperate.
Yeah.
I'm looking high and low.
Yeah, that's something I'm so desperate about.
I was focused on what I was doing, getting my bachelor's, getting my Spanish skills honed in on, getting ready for the mission field. He saw me at work doing something and bettering myself. I stayed true to my core values of that I'm not gonna just take any old Joe Schmo that says he's a Christian and maybe prays a couple times, but really he's just a pervert or a catfish or somebody just playing that he's a Christian. But he was genuine, and he encouraged me in my mission.
I encourage you,
I hope I
sincerely, not just trying to encourage you so that you can like me or something. I was just throwing up words that I always
would have done for anyone.
Yeah, for anyone in my church, with my youth group and everything like that. And then one thing I just want us to share together.
And that was the thing that attracted me to you also, was you had been a youth pastor in a sense with his youth and had done different seminars and things like that. He was trying with all of his abilities and his doors of opportunities to do the best he could and to fulfill the calling on his life for God. He had already been working also, so it was a beautiful thing to see somebody active already in the ministry before I met them.
Right.
I didn't have to drag him or make him want it or make sure that he was even just an established Christian.
Right.
You already were. So.
It is very important for young people to enrich themselves and add value to their life before they come together. And I think, it's by the grace of God, I think it's very important for any young person. Don't just want to grab anybody, I want to get married. Add value to your life, develop yourself, make the best use of your single life. Don't rush out of it, but enjoy it, because you're going to get married for the rest of your life. I don't have any regrets. The age that I got married, that we enjoyed our single life, and I can boldly say that, and God already knows the best for you, and He will connect you guys together. No matter how, He will connect. See, the way we get to meet, to me, it still amazes me. I'm not saying people don't get to marry across cultures or across nations, but for me, I was like, how is it gonna happen? And
government, family, timing, finances, everything.
And I was just at rest. Like God helped me. God has helped her. I really salute her and what she has really been able to accomplish. And it's what we are enjoying it right now. Like she's the maturity, the spiritual stability, even for me as well. So this is the first episode of how we met. So next video we'll talk about the process, the hurdles, the difficulty, the time that we were like, oh, it's not gonna work, just forget about it, let's just separate ways.
And the dark times.
And how we keep pressing, prayerfully praying, and how I got to come to the States, and how it's been a rough but a good time. But
you don't have a testimony without a test.
That's right. So thank you very much. God bless you, Bettina, Ade, Emmanuel, Rene. All right, God bless you. See you in the next video. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.
Dios te bendiga.
O dabo.